Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kaseera wa nazkuraka kaseera innaka kunta bina basira. Rabbi awzini an ashkura ni'mataka allati an'amta alayya wa ala walidayya wa an a'mala salihan tardahu wa adkhilni bi rahmatika fi ibadika salihin. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Inshallah, we will continue with the raised topic of the 11th ray, which is about the repetition in the Quran. The 10th topic page is 269 in the book. So we kind of went over a few paragraphs last time, seeing the wisdom in why there's repetition in some of the verses on the topics and themes. There's a constant reminder in the verses for our needs. So if we are in need of everlasting life hereafter, need of resurrection, need of happiness eternally, satisfaction, eternal satisfaction, then we need to be brought back into the right path by constant reminders. And there were some verses that the author mentioned about the ones that were delivered or came in the Meccan period while the Prophet was there, and then before his migration to Medina, and then there were some verses that came in the Medina while he migrated. And there's slightly, one can notice how there are some matters that are dealt in the verses in Medina, which are more towards how to work our lives in social aspects, how to deal with people, more in terms of how I arrange my life in a practical sense. Guidance is there, but at the same time, it goes back to the fundamentals that the Meccan surahs mention about belief in an absolute creator, belief in divine determining, hereafter, angels. So always there is the mention of the 6 pillars of belief in every verse that we study. So that it was just a recap for what we discussed last time. So for example, let's go back a little bit to the page. For example, the verses that are who created the heavens and the earth, and then it follows he merges the night into the day, and he merges the day into the night. And then it ends up with, and he has full knowledge of all that is in men's hearts. So there's many examples like these in the Quran where it mentions about some minor thing and then it goes and concludes a universal principle. Seemingly minor, but then it has a universal aspect to those verses. So we'll continue, inshallah, with the middle of the page of 269 with the example, since the verse, for example, since the verse, for those who believe and do righteous deeds are gardens beneath which rivers flow. They will dwell there forever. And these verses are in many places oft repeated. So the reference given here is section 5, verse 85, and etc. Many other places that you would see that Aminu Amlu Salihat, and then gardens beneath which rivers flow. They will dwell there forever. Jannatul tajri min tahti al-anhar khalidina fi. So many places, it keeps mentioning these kind of verses. It's interesting why it does mention these. So for example, those who believe and do righteous deeds, we may fall out of track many times of not being conscious, not being aware of what we're doing. Why are we doing it? For what purpose? Why are we here in this world? We may forget our purpose in living. So that's why the reminders need to keep coming to us to make the righteous deeds in accordance with our belief. And of course, if we are in need of eternal bliss, eternal happiness, eternity, and not just the temporary transient satisfactions that we get from time to time, but connect them to an eternal happiness, then definitely we need these kind of reminders. So such
We
verses
need these reminders continuously, almost all the time.
every day, every moment. Yes, I would love it.
Repetition is not repetition.
Yes,
We need it.
because it's not like something you get bored with, because it's something that we need. So we constantly need it, that, hey, yeah,
Okay.
I need to come back to my reality, why I'm here in this world. So it announces the good news of eternal happiness and saves from the eternal extinction of death, which every moment shows itself to wretched man, both himself and his world, and all those he loves, and gains for them an everlasting sovereignty. If it is repeated thousands of millions of times and given the importance of the universe, it still is not excessive and does not lose its value. Thus, in teaching innumerable, invaluable matters of this sort, and endeavoring to persuade, convince, and prove the occurrence of the awesome revolutions which will destroy the present form of the universe and transform that universe as though it was a house, the Quran of miraculous exposition certainly draws attention to these matters thousands of times explicitly, implicitly, and allusively. And this is not excessive, but renews the bounty, which is like an essential need. This is an interesting phrase, renews the bounty, which is like an essential need, the same as the essential needs of bread, medicine, air, and light are renewed. So our human needs are renewed because those are our human essential needs.
For example, we know that whatever is created from God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understood. It is creating, it is the creator, that is the universe witnessing to it.
Mm-hmm.
And now something happens to me, disappointing, whatever.
Things
I
happen.
forgot it. Yeah. So I'm continuously changing, not necessarily that I have to wait until the death comes to me. No, every stage in our life, every moment, but every moment we don't really take notice of it. But at least certain times we are encountering all unexpected, disliked by human feelings. According to our interpretation, we don't see the wisdom in them. So, oh, God didn't create as if what I liked. But rather than saying something is created out there, although I don't like it, What is the point in its existence? Do you think God is doing something against my nature, the way he created me? So I need to be reminded that, look, if you really understand the wisdom in the creation, you will understand that it is the creator of the universe who creates everything in wisdom. Now, when you understand this, happy understanding opens up in front of you. My creator doesn't create anything unwise, pointless, no purpose. It opens up as a parasitical understanding of creation. It means you say, definitely my creator must be teaching something. Let me learn from it, reminding me something. That's why these verses say that if you do something, believing God, it means remember that everything is created by him and act accordingly, amilu, do good deeds. It means really act according to your belief. And then you will be experiencing in this world a happy life, because you will know that it is not an accident. That is not happened because you are unlucky. No, that is what you need. Your creator is merciful. Why should he punish you? Why should he create you and then put you in a miserable position? No, there must be something he is preparing for you, educating you what your reality is, what his reality is, so that you will have a right connection between you and your creator, and trust your creation to you trust your existence to your creator. You will understand that the creator is always means to do good for you in order to prepare for you for the best way of making a progress in your understanding of humanity, human being, as a perfect human being. So get education. So good news makes me feel happy.
Right.
Although what I thought it was something that I disliked happened.
So it becomes good news.
And it turns into for example, a person has some sort of disease or illnesses, and then the doctor tells him, come on, go do this or take this medicine, although it is sour, it is maybe really not pleasant, and also do some sort of activities or exercises. Then you see that, oh, do I have to do this? And you start doing it. Relax in your, but when the problem troubles you, and you start feeling happy that this doctor knows what I need. Exactly. This the simple example explains somehow.
Alhamdulillah, good example. All right, so, and for example, as is proved decisively in the Risale-i-Nur, the wisdom in the Quran repeating severely, angrily, and forcefully, threatening verses like, for wrongdoers there is a grievous penalty, but for those who for those who reject God, for them will be the fire of hell. Screen. Okay, for wrongdoers there is a grievous penalty, but for those who reject God, for them will be the fire of hell. So 14, Quran section 14, verse 22, and the other one is section 35, verse 36. Is that man's unbelief is such a transgression against the rights of the universe and most creatures that it takes the heavens and earth. It makes the heavens and earth angry and brings the elements to anger. so that they deal blows on those wrongdoers with tempest and storm. So let's read that again, is that the man's unbelief is such a transgression. So man's unbelief is such a transgression against the rights of the universe and the creatures that exist, or the events that we go through. We may say we may not like them, but to complain about them leads towards the unbelief aspect.
This is something to do with unbelief.
Mhm.
Now, when we don't believe that the universe and everything in it is created by a conscious, wise, merciful creator for a purpose.
Mhm.
What the text says, apparently, and the Quran also says the same thing, we will read the verse in the following lines. Now, rights of the universe, if I transgress the rights of the universe, what will happen? My attitude will make the heavens and the earth angry and brings elements to anger to me. But we say that there are lots of people deny God, and there is no meteors or any earthquake happening to their life and to their houses, for example, destroying their houses. There's no nothing.
Mhm.
What does it mean then? The heavens and the earth really gets angry with me. So we understand that when I deny in the wisdom in their existence, I will start experiencing that the universe is accidental, nature is blind and dumb. Whatever happens is just random happenings. I am not really lucky or unlucky. So there is no wisdom. Nothing is known. Nothing is planned. Accidental happening. How can you really be happy while having this understanding of the universe? And even you try to enjoy yourself on daily basis, but you never get rid of this lingering idea that I got this one, but it will disappear, and at the end, I will lose everything. There is no benefit, even if I have a lot of properties and goods under my possession. No hope, because at the end you will lose it.
Everything.
Yeah. With this understanding, you will never feel happy, and you will never have a good relationship with the creation, with the world and the earth and the creatures. Although you may say, I love animals, and some people are developing this kind of understandings, but he may like, or he or she, the people may like animals, but at the same time, they don't see that their existence is accidental, meaningless, purposeless, happen to be in this way. No owner, no plan, no wisdom, no mercy, so that they are being entertained by the owner of the universe. No, there is no owner. There is no owner. Can you imagine? You find yourself accidentally in a house. Oh, you find that food is there and everything is there. Oh, I'm going to enjoy it. But you know that every day you use it, you will get closer to the last floor. And at the end, from the roof, you are going to be thrown away. How much you enjoy your life. Because you are on the first floor, second floor, third floor, the age comes 45, 40, towards the last 2, 3 floors, and then come to my age, I am going to be taken into attic, and then to the roof, and then thrown away. How can you enjoy the food you eat? How can you really enjoy your life on daily basis? You know that you are going to be thrown away because this an accidentally happened. You are not invited by a conscious, merciful host taking care of you. That is why unbelief causes everything in your eyes enemy to you. They are angry with you. They don't really function as a source of happiness for you. That is the problem of unbelief.
So unbelief. So strictly tied to happiness and unhappiness of the human being.
It means we prepare our happiness, we prepare our misery.
Misery, yeah.
That is we are doing. The skies and stars are not doing anything. They just function as they are willed to function by their creator owner. Huh?
Yep, that's not like contradicting ourselves, our reality, and then we put ourselves into problems. Very amazing things. According to the clear statement of the verses, and when they are cast therein, they will hear the terrible drawing in of its breath as it blazes forth. They will hear the terrible drawing in of its breath as it blazes forth, almost bursting with fury. Quran section 67, verses 7 and 8. Hell so rages at those iniquitous deniers that it almost disintegrates with fury. Thus, through the wisdom of showing, not from the point of view of man's smallness and insignificance before such a general crime and boundless aggression, but the importance of the rights of the monarch of universe's subjects, to the rights of the subjects, before the greatness of the wrongful crime and the awesomeness of the unjust aggression and the boundless ugliness in the unbelief and iniquity of those deniers. In accordance with the wisdom of showing this, if repeating in his decree most wrathfully and severely the crime and its punishment, thousands, millions, or even thousands of millions of times, it still would not be excessive and a fault. Because for 1,000 years, thousands of millions of people have read such verses every day, not with boredom, but with total eagerness and need. So hell is really angry, gets rages at those deniers, the unbelief.
How do you understand this? Hell is not, hell is angry now. How do you understand?
Because it's created. So my feelings when I deny in my feelings.
When I deny, I am in the state of hell. So it is angry means if I don't really wake up, he keeps shaking me. Wake up, what are you doing? Huh? Reminding me that everything is going, you are going to lose everything, and the last day is approaching. So when you reach the age of 35 and the white hairs are starting coming out and saying that, hey man, what are you doing? Are you through? Yeah. And then they start picking up at the end. They so much as if they are going to have no hair. So stop it and try to dye it. all cheating themselves.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the hell status they are in is continuously, furiously burning in themselves, in this world. In the next creation, physically you have to leave it. Physically, now spiritually we are. And our body seems to be okay.
Mhm.
But in the next creation, we deserve to be given a body which is continuously feeling pain. As we deserve it. That is our graduation degree. Failure. No satisfaction.
Mhm. It's the rotten seed, the
Yeah.
rotten tree.
That is why in resurrection,
Yeah.
it is very difficult for many people to believe bodily resurrection. They say spirit will continue. No, we are created with body,
Mhm.
We are being educated with body, and we will be
Resurrected with the body.
resurrected with body according to what we deserve.
Mhm.
According to what we deserve.
Allahu Akbar. According to what we deserve.
That is the wisdom in creation. In this way, that we are created with body.
Mhm.
Can you satisfy your hunger without physically eating the food?
No.
No, if I say, oh, God is the providence, God is the nourisher, and He feeds me, do you feel comfortable?
No, you have to physically eat it. Yeah.
You have to physically experience it.
Mhm.
So our choices will be physically met.
Mhm.
Exactly what we deserve.
All right, so we'll continue. And feel free to comment if anybody has any comment. Indeed, every day, all the time, for everyone, one world disappears and the door of a new world is opened to them. Through repeating, there is no God but God, 1,000 times out of need, and with longing, out of need and with longing, in order to illuminate each of those transitory worlds. It makes there is no God but God a lamp for each of those changing veils. So all those changes, new worlds being opened up. So it makes there is no God but God a lamp. So get light for each of those changing veils. In the same way, in accordance with the wisdom of appreciating through reading the Quran, the penalties of those crimes and the severe threats of the pre-eternal monarch, which smashed their obduracy, and of working to be saved from the rebellion of the soul. Working to be saved from the rebellion of the soul. So as not to obscure in darkness those multiple fleeting veils. So as not to obscure in darkness those multiple fleeting veils. And renewed traveling universes. And not to make ugly their images, which are reflected in the mirrors of their lives. And not to turn against them those guest views which may testify in favor of them. The Quran repeats them in truly meaningful fashion. Even Satan would shudder at imagining to be out of place. These so powerful, severe, and repeated threats of the Quran, it shows that the torments of hell are pure justice for the deniers who do not heed them. Let me repeat this paragraph. Indeed, every day, all the time, for everyone, one world disappears and the door of a new world is opened to them. So through repeating, so just like everything changes every day, we get a new day, new seasons, new years, new months, days. So everything changes every time. So there's a repetition of there is no God but God 1,000 times out of need and with longing. So out of need and with longing, in order to illuminate each of those transitory worlds. It makes there is no God but God a lamp for each of those changing veils. In the same way, in accordance with the wisdom of appreciating through reading the Quran, in the same way the penalties of those crimes and the severe threats of the pre-eternal monarch, so it smashes our obduracy or egotism or being obdurate on something, hard-headed, and of working to be saved from the rebellion of the soul. So the rebellion of the soul, the ego, which wants to take charge of everything and make oneself self-centered. That's why the rebellion of the soul. So as not to obscure in darkness those multiple fleeting veils and renewed traveling universes. Not to obscure in darkness those multiple fleeting veils and renewed traveling universes, and not to make ugly their images, which are reflected in the mirrors of their lives. Does anybody want to share what they understand from this phrase? And not to make ugly their images. Images which are reflected in the mirrors of their lives. So these verses that mention the strict penalties, harshness, crimes, definitely it smashes the ego, the obduracy. But what does he mean by not to turn against him? I mean, and not to make ugly their images. So their meaningful life, I guess, which are reflected in the mirrors of their lives. And not to turn against them those guest views which may testify in favor of them. Not to turn against them those guest views. So the whole universe, I mean, if we understand, we are a guest views which may testify in favor of them. So even Satan would shudder at imagining to be out of place. These so powerful, severe, and repeated threats of the Quran, it shows that the torments of hell are pure justice for the deniers who do not heed them. All right, any comment on this paragraph? All right, let's continue. And for example, in repeating many times the stories of Moses, peace be upon him, which contain many instances of wisdom and benefits, like the story of his staff and of the other prophets, peace be upon them. It demonstrates that the prophets of all the other prophets, it demonstrates that the prophethoods of all the other prophets are a proof of the veracity of the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This phrase reminds me of what we discussed yesterday about the messengership of the Prophet ﷺ. So it entails everything as the root. All the other prophets is covered in that message. So all of the other prophets, peace be upon them, it demonstrates that the prophethoods of all the other prophets are a proof of the veracity of the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And that one who does not deny all of them, so all the prophets, cannot deny his messengership, because they all are saying the same thing. So if you deny one, you're denying basically the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. For this purpose, and since everyone does not always have the time or capability to read the whole Quran, the Quran repeats those stories in the same way as the important pillars of belief. So in the same way as the important pillars of belief, in order to make all the long and middle length surahs, each like a small Quran, to repeat them is not excessive, it is required by eloquence, and teaches that the question of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest question of mankind and the most important matter of the universe. So the oft-repeated stories of Moses and other prophets and the people of Noah, we gave this, people of Solomon and Moses are mentioned many, many times as if they're repeating, but then there's like powerful messages in that repetition because we need them. It keeps us also to confirm the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. So in this paragraph, at least, I see how he's tying by the mention of the stories of the prophets to the veracity of the message that Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, brings as well. Although it doesn't mention him explicitly in the verses, but it confirms his messengership by mentioning those other stories. It has been demonstrated decisively in the Risale-i-Nur with many proofs and indications that through giving the highest position to the person of Muhammad in the Quran and including him in 4 pillars of belief and holding Muhammad is the messenger of God equal to the pillar of there is no God but God, that the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest truth in the universe. Messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest truth in the universe. And that the person of Muhammad is the most noble of creatures, and his universal collective personality and sacred rank, known as the Muhammadan reality, his universal collective personality and sacred rank, known as the Muhammadan reality, is the most radiant sun of the 2 worlds. His worthiness for this extraordinary position has also been proved. Page 271. So we just completed the first 2 paragraphs. So now he is mentioning, tying all those stories that we hear of Moses and other prophets, how it demonstrates as a proof to the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and to his messengership. So denying any of those other messengers denies the messengership of Muhammad. And then he says, that's why, because everybody has different circumstances in their living, not everybody can get engaged with the Quran as much as they would like to. So this repetition and these stories is important for us to, there's a wisdom in there. It repeats those stories in the same way as the important pillars of belief. So the stories contain the elements of the pillars of belief. So this repetition for the pillars of belief is not really a repetition, it's our need. It's the great question of mankind. So the question of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest question of mankind. So what is that question? The greatest question. Of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest question of mankind and the most important matter of the universe. So is it, why am I here in this world? That question, as a general, greatest question of mankind. What is our purpose in existence? And of course, many proofs and indications have been mentioned by this author. So this one, the question of Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, is the greatest question of mankind and the most important matter of the universe. The Quran, including him in 4 pillars. So what is this? So giving the position to the person Muhammad in the Quran, including him in the 4 pillars, and holding Muhammad is the messenger of God equal to the pillar. There is no God but God. So let's decipher this. Giving the highest position to the person Muhammad in the Quran and including him in 4 pillars of belief, and holding Muhammad is the messenger of God equal to the pillar of there is no God but God. That the messengership of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest truth in the universe.
It means that this expression is important. Muhammadan reality, Hakikat Muhammadiyah, which means not the person of Muhammad, the body of Muhammad is a person, but the message he represents. And this message he represents is the, especially for us now, is the message that God has been revealing to humankind all throughout history. And through this message that the universe receives its light, it means the most important matter of the universe is Muhammadan reality. What does it mean? The most important matter. For as far as we are concerned, the most important matter, as far as human beings are concerned. Why? Because without the message of the Muhammadan reality, it means really the message God sends to humankind through prophets, all prophets, the universe becomes meaningful, without which we are just facing a lump of matter, a mass of matter. What am I going to do with the mass of matter? Purposeless mass of matter. Yeah, it seems to be perfectly designed, arranged, but there is no purpose. You see the very nice building, but it is not functioning for any purpose. It becomes meaningless.
All right. So according to the principle, I don't know if you're seeing the screen. For some reason, the screen says it's paused, but I'm trying to resume it, but it's not doing it. Let me share again. Stop share, and then share screen. All right. All right, we're back. Okay. According to the principle of the cause is like the doer. According to the principle of the cause is like the doer, with the equivalent of all the good works performed by all his community at all times, entering his book of good works, and the light which he brought, illuminating all the truths of the cosmos. So we're not dealing with the purposeless, meaningless world, cosmos, but the very meaningful, illuminating truths in the cosmos. And his making grateful not only the jinn, mankind, and animate beings, making grateful the jinn, mankind, and animate beings, but also the universe and the heavens and earth, and the supplications of plants, supplication of plants offered through the tongue of disposition, and the supplications of animals offered through the tongue of their innate need. Yeah, I need this kind of reminders. I forget when I look at plants, there's a supplication of plants going on. They're in need of existence, need of provision. Supplication of animals, supplication of the heavens and earth. And the righteous of his peace and blessing upon him community every day, bequeathing to him their benedictions and supplications for mercy and spiritual gains. And the righteous of his peace and blessing upon him community. So the righteous community of every day bequeathing to him their benedictions and supplications for mercy and spiritual gains, whose millions, and together with spirit beings, even millions of unrejectable supplications are accepted as we actually witness with our eyes. And since each of the 300,000 letters of the Quran yield from 100 to 1,000 merits, only with regard to the recitation of the Quran by all his community, with infinite numbers of lights entering the book of his deeds. Infinite numbers of lights entering the book of his deeds, of the human being, his deeds, due to all these, the one knowing of the unseen, the one all-knowing of the unseen, and knew that the Muhammadan, peace and blessings be upon him, reality, the Muhammadan reality, which is his collective personality, would in the future be like a tuba tree of paradise. And in accordance with that rank, accorded him supreme importance in the Quran. And in accordance with that rank, accorded him supreme importance in the Quran. And in his decree showed the following of him and receiving of his intercession through adhering to his illustrious sunnah to be one of the most important matters concerning man. And from time to time, he took into consideration his human personality and human state in his early life, which was a seed of the majestic tuba tree. Take into consideration his human personality and human state in his early life, which was a seed to the majestic tuba tree. Thus, since the truths repeated in the Quran are of this value, all sound natures will testify that in its repetitions is a powerful and extensive miracle. Unless that is to say, a person is afflicted with some sickness of the heart and malady of the conscience due to the plague of materialism. The plague of materialism. And is included under the rule, a man denied the light of the sun due to his diseased eye. Man denied the light of the sun due to his diseased eye. His mouth denied the taste of water due to sickness. So the plague of materialism touches us in that way. So let's pause here. If any comments or anything in this long, lengthy paragraph. According to the principle, the cause is like the doer. So all.
Actually, the translation of the first line here, a man is denied. The man is denied
The light of the sun.
the light of sun
Due to his.
because if my eye doesn't see, I cannot have the light of sun because my eyes is wrong. I think this summarizes what has been saying in all the previous paragraphs that we have been reading lately.
Mhm.
Not because universe is going to do anything to me, but because if I deny the reality, I will suffer for it. And I will feel that the universe is attacking me because my existence makes my spirit uncomfortable. Because if I choose to decide that the universe is meaningless, purposeless, happen to be like that,
Mhm.
for some developments or whatever you say, eternally is like this. And then because of my attitude, I will make the universe my enemy. It means his being there, its being there continuously disturbs me because reminds me my life is meaningless just because of me. So if someone has a sickness in his mouth, it doesn't taste the
Anything,
good
yeah.
taste of water.
Right.
Not because water is bad, but I am making it bad for me. So I think we have to go back this applications of animals through the tank of disposition, applications of plants through the tank of their innate need, and also applications of human beings.
Mhm.
So all of them are satisfied or really makes the universe meaningful because through the way the plants and animals and human spirit, human feelings are created, through the way they are created, necessitates the Muhammadan truth, Muhammadan message, the essence of the message that God has been sending to human beings. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I lost you. So the way they're made, you said.
Yeah, because they are needy.
They're needy, yes.
Yeah. So human beings look at them, they are needy and their needs are
Satisfied.
Mhm. But when it comes to themselves, I am needy of happiness. And the way, if I don't follow the Muhammadan reality, the message that God sends through the prophets, I make my life miserable. But the fact that the universe witnesses that, look, plants are needy and their need is prepared or satisfied, provided. Animals are provided. Even if you have further vision, larger vision, the galaxies need energy to entertain their existence and turn around the stars and galaxies, clusters, make this wonderful dance, orchestra of the universe, happy. They need energy, they need order, they need being taken care of. They are all satisfied. How about human needs? What is that? Feeling happy in their existence with no worries that they are going to die. They are getting old. No worries. This is only possible to understand the universe. Really, everything is taken care of by a conscious being. Human being, the needs of the human beings are going to be taken care of by this conscious being who created the universe and the human beings, human needs. Only through this message that we can get satisfaction. Otherwise, looking for happiness, for example, every morning, if you do some exercises, take your shower and go to jail and say good morning to everyone. Yes, I did, but I'm going to lose my life and I'm getting old. And whatever I am working for, whatever I collect at the end, won't remain with me. Look, I'm living in this house, and this house had 2 generations before me, and they all died. What does it mean? I am going to leave this house to another one. The Quran says it beautifully, actually. Enfiqu mimma, which is a beautiful verse. Enfiqu mimma خلقكم انفقوا مما جعلكم مستخلفين فيه. It means give away to those people who need. Don't make it only for yourself. From what we have given you, that you have been inheriting from each other. It means you inherit from your father, inherited from his father, and you inherit from your mother, father, and your children will inherit you. Nothing is remaining in the hands of nobody. What is the point of owning it? It doesn't matter, we shouldn't own, but saying that I own this and that, so I am happy. But you are going to lose, and somebody will get it. She will going to use as well. Only this circle of life becomes meaningful if we utilize the Muhammadan reality. It is very important to understand this, actually. Now, does anybody want to say anything? Just I would like to talk about intercession. It's very simple. We keep talking about this intercession problem is usually understood by people. You know, I am a member of the community of Muhammad, so Muhammad is going to take care of it, like the Christians say. I believe in Jesus, so Jesus is going to take care of me in the hereafter. Don't worry about my life. But it's a sunnah. As long as I follow the best example prepared by God in the order through the practices of the prophet, I will receive his intercession, because I will remember that Muhammad has done it in this way. So my Creator is giving me the best example through this person by following the life pattern of Muhammad. I am following the will of my Creator and presenting my supplications to him. It means, look, I need your help in order to make me feel happy in my existence and in this world, by giving me the perfect conviction in my belief in you and also in the hereafter. So I will be with you because I believe in you, that you are an eternal, absolute being. I belong to you. My existence belongs to you. So only the way that human beings can get satisfaction through trusting in the mercy of their Creator. Otherwise, no way we can get satisfaction. Only acknowledging and trusting the mercy of my Creator. No one speaks today.
Yeah.
What happened?
All right, I think we are at time, so we should not let the light of the sun be denied to us, or the taste of water. We should not let it be denied. Be careful what we're doing. All right, any final comments or anything by anyone? All right, we'll stop here. Inshallah, then next time we'll study this, 2 additions. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati suratil Fatiha.
Did you close this? No. Now, previously, in the first 3 volumes
Yes.
that we have to go through,
Words.
the journey,
Yeah.
the author never used Muhammad in reality.
Oh.
Yeah, he used to use, before that we are reading the 4th volume now, he used to say the message of Muhammad. Now the term is changed from the message of Muhammad to Muhammad in reality. The reality of Muhammad is based on this line of revelations, as far as we are concerned now, represented by Muhammad, and not unique to Muhammad, previous ones also. And when I follow his sunnah, I am not following him, but I am following the reality he represents for me.
Wait, so what's the difference?
The difference,
Yeah.
consciousness. You are aware that you are not following a man.
I'm
You are
not
not
following a
following a
man,
man.
following the reality
So, the reality he represents, but this reality is as old as the human race is on earth. It's not something new, something novice. It is human reality is there.
Right.
From the very first man created until now, human reality is always the same. Practical side is different. I mean, the same. I am a creative being, and I have to acknowledge my Creator. That is, the choice is left to us. Muhammad in reality is the latest understanding of the message of the Prophet. The last stage.
Last stage.
Yeah, last stage of understanding of it. That's why this 4th volume introduces interesting vocabulary than the previous ones. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.